Hello, my name's Abigail Ray, and I write books. I compose music for my books. I'm a composer, guitarist, and music novelist, and my main thing is composing music for my books, so like the fiction. And my main book is a biography on Mendelssohn, and I incorporate his music. I didn't compose for this book, but um, it incorporates Mendelssohn's music. And I have a book about Vienna because I lived there for 3 months, and later on I lived in Leipzig, but um, this one's about my first trip abroad. And then I do paintings for fun and some little crafts.
No worries. Yeah, I'll get Jen too. Yeah. Hi, I'm Stephanie R. Caffrey, and I'm a romantic suspense author from here in Des Moines. I am here at the Indie Author Book Expo selling my London Detective Agency series. It's a series of books that take place in London and follows a team of detectives as they solve crimes and fall in love.
Yeah, this is Colette Lawrenson. I am an author, illustrator of Wilbur children's books, and also a commissioned artist. Um, Come on down, join us for the book fair. We have all sorts of authors here, and it's a great time. Good way to get out of the heat. It is cool in here. I have 4 books that I've written and have another 4 on the way. My plush toys are a great addition to the books and bring the books to life. Colorful illustrations and fun stories. Come on down. Thanks.
Ready? Clint Snyder here at the 10th Annual Indie Author Book Expo in Valley Junction, debuting mine and my co-author Jay Gonzalez's first book, My Method to Madness. Come check us out. We'll be here till 5. Thank you all.
Well, my name is John Burns, and I'm a writer I live in Johnston now. I write about anything I want to write about. My legacy really is baby pictures, the story of my year on the road with the band Baby Lester and the Buggy Bumpers back in the 1970s. Pretty much the most significant thing I ever did. Dead Horses is basically all the stories about me that didn't make it into baby pictures. Call it Dead Horses because basically the stories I've beaten like a dead horse over the years. The two I'm really excited about, actually, the most recent ones. Um, $1 American Tutor, a story about my father's freshman year at Boston University back in 1947, and his 2 amazing roommates from Colombia and Thailand. Um, Published that last summer after his last sibling passed away. We didn't want to publish it while his siblings are still around, and so we published it last summer. And then $1, the German helmet on the basement shelf is a story of everything that happened to me after I published $1 American Tutor. Um, Before my father left for Boston University, there was a World War II veteran who had just gotten back from the war that lived at his father's house and disappeared after 2 years. Never heard from him again. Left behind a German helmet that he had captured over during World War II. Stayed in our family for 80 years until last summer it was with me. And finally, I donated it to the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. And a lot of stories came out of that. Um, the Desiree is a fictional book based on a true story, actually, um, about somebody who got caught in the United States immigration system. El Mensajero, fictional story about a 26-year-old bank messenger back in 1979 who takes the money and runs to Mexico. Totally fictional. Just so happens that back in 1979, I was a 26-year-old bank messenger, but I didn't go to Mexico that time. That's not about me. Uh, the New Rules is about law and politics. I wasn't going to write about law and politics, but 3 years ago, had a little problem with the Iowa legislature. Decided to write a book about my misadventure with the Iowa legislature, and there it is right there. Yeah, all the artwork, by the way, the cover on that, most of the artwork on everything except Desiree is by Sean Palick from Slater, a local artist. He does my album covers and my book covers. and and a lot of times, like the new rules, I think I sold more books based on the cover art than they have on what's written in the book actually. So
Thank you very much for joining us virtually for the IABE, also known as the Indie Author Book Expo. We empower readers and creatives to come together to build better books, better art, and just generally enjoy a community of creatives together. As you can see, we not only represent ourselves as independent authors, but we represent other authors that couldn't make it here today for whatever reason, but still wanted to share their beautiful books with you. We hope you enjoy our show. This is our 10th year of doing this, and we are even award winning. In 2019, we won an award for the best new nonprofit in the city of Des Moines. So if that doesn't make you want to check us out, I don't know what will.
So what are we doing? How do you want this? So I'm Joey Dursky, been an author for 10 years now. I have 2 separate stories that have been published thus far. Fallen's an interactive fiction series written from the first person point of view, so you read as the main character. As you progress through the storyline, you're dealt choices in the form of an entire book. So it's not like a Which Way book I used to read when I was a kid. You get to choose the entire next book in the series. So at the end of book 1, you're given your first choice. There are 2 book 2s. You choose which book to read based on your personal preference. No wrong turns, no dead ends, no need to backtrack unless you wanted to go back and start the series over again. Stricken from History is a standalone book. It's a historical fiction. It's about a group of archaeologists in central France. They unearth a diary they unearth a diary written during the Black Plague explaining that it was a zombie virus, but it's been covered up by religious leaders. So it's some conspiracy theory, alternative history, and sci-fi fantasy.
All right. So I'm Daniel Santos. This is my series, Grave of Lost Dreams. It all starts in 1960s in Aurora Pines, Alaska. It's a very secluded town that's actually off the mainland, and it's run by this woman named Dabria and her cult. And one day there's an accident that burns the entire town down. But even though the town is gone from the real world, it still exists at some other realm. And in this realm, the town is still there, but it takes people from the real world, and those people taken from the real world are all people who stumble into it by accident, and they're all there because they've done something bad in their life, and the only way they can escape is by admitting what they did wrong and confessing it and repenting for it. And now these 2 books here are both standalones. This one centers around 2 characters, one named Hugh, the other named Sophia. Both of them did something bad in their life, and that's why they're there. This one is a little different. Takes place in the same universe, in the same town. It centers around the main character named Patrick, who feels guilt over what happened with his brother. And it shows the present timeline, which takes place in the ghost town, as well as the past, which shows the events leading up to him getting into that town.
Brian Warner. My book is The Ghostwriter. It's about an English professor who moves to Iowa and becomes the ghostwriter for a reclusive, famous horror author. And he soon finds out that he's actually the subject of the author's next book.
What am I? Okay. Hi. We are at the Indie Author Book Expo from 12 to 5. I will be selling my books, mouse pads, cosmetic bags, magnets, keychains, a bunch of all my merch. So come out and see us.
Okay. Hello, this is Rahi with Bakunda Kitchen. We're here at the Indie Author Book Expo selling some food. We have spice mixes as well as meat pies, grilled chicken, and jollof rice.
So yeah, my name is Tyler Granger, and I began writing my memoir during 2020. Writing was kind of an escape from the pandemic. In 2022, I self-published my memoir, and then I also published a children's book, also for my daughter. This was to help her with her ABCs, and yeah, happy to help share my stories with y'all.
Hi, I'm Becky DeShano, also known as the Notorious Mrs. D.
And I write children's books. So I don't know if you can see the collection, but we have several that are here. Most of the messages are something to encourage you or to remind you, of the wonderful person that you really are. And certainly there's some moral lessons in all of them. And so we've been doing this since, oh gosh, I can't remember when. It's been several years. But yeah, we want you to come down to this thing that we're doing today so that, we can say hi to you and you can get a goodie bag. And so, anyway.
Hey, I'm Jason Lee. Just came up here from Fort Madison, Iowa today to be part of IABE. So I kind of, people ask me what sort of work I do. I guess I'd almost call myself a writer of subgenres because we got my debut book. This was a journalism thriller, The Holy Fool, kind of about a group. It was a newspaper in Chicago in 2008, and this is all fictional, but
The spot.
Being so short.
Okay. Hi, I'm Angela Funk. I'm a sci-fi fantasy author based in Iowa. I currently have two series that are out. I have a little dark action adventure fantasy that follows five main characters as they set out to take a tournament style exam. And my completed duology, that's more of a romance adventure that follows Noah and Celeste as they set out to save their planets from colliding and fall in love along the way. I've always wanted to be an author, so this is like my dream come true, publishing everything. And yeah, I love what I do.
Okay. I'm Ann Morris, and when I write in Spanish, I go by Ana Morris. I have several books. The first three books that I wrote were in English separately and Spanish separately. And I write the Spanish also. I'm bilingual. Then I had some people say, well, why don't you put Spanish and English in the same book? So I have two books that have the story with both languages in the same book. And after that, I wrote a book it's more poetic, kind of fun for reading. And then I started going to Ghana. I was I was inspired by my sister, who was also already going there, and it's, it's a mission. Royal Promise is the mission, and we go and help the people in a small rural village. And the whole country is a developing country, but we go and we help the people in their developing, in their education, learning skills. They they are amazingly generous, amazingly loving, welcoming. They they speak English as a national language, but it's not their native language. There are at least 80 native languages in the country. So when I when I read, and I always read something to the different classes, I always make sure that I speak slowly and clearly because some of them don't know English very well yet. But I have a lot of fun doing a lot of different things and meeting different people. I'm always learning.
Awesome.
Hello, I'm Brian K. Morris, publisher, editor, writer, and former mortician's assistant, and welcome to Rising Tide Publications, where we have a number of wonderful books that you will crave to own, whether it's adventure or humor or horror or what have you. We have a little something for everybody, and we hope you'll come down to the Indie